Yeah, hi, this is Paul Sackett, Good News Planet, speaking to Mark Halpert. Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Okay, good. And in Mark's case, and it's very, very real, www.linkedin.com/in/Mark Halpert. And I'm saying all this because Mark actually is an expert, I will say, in LinkedIn. That's true, isn't it, Mark?
Well, if there could be expertise, I have over 6 years of experience teaching people how to do it. It's only a 10-year-old product, so I guess it's pretty good.
They call you an evangelist of it, actually.
Yes, there's a bit of hallelujah spirit going on in LinkedIn, trying to get more and more of the heathen to believe, so that's sort of what I do.
All righty, but you also had a few companies, started 3 companies, all of which continues to operate, and the last one, I guess, that you're involved with is connect2collaborate.com, where you're spreading your LinkedIn talents and networking evangelism. So people, you're a right man for getting LinkedIn corporate training and coaching, and it's becoming more and more important, isn't it?
Oh, it's the currency of business right now. No matter whether you're a job seeker or you're happy with your job and you just want to look better, or you're an entrepreneur and you want to look larger than your company actually is, or you just want to make your brand resonate. It's a great tool. It allows everybody their own personal creativity and their own personal expression to really brand themselves in their industry in the way that'll make them look best.
And what is the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook, would you say?
Oh, I love that question. Facebook has kittens and puppies and recipes and pictures of your family. We don't do that on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a corporate audience. We speak corporate professionally. We are helping each other in ways that are just absolutely amazing to benefit each other's business. It's networking on steroids in the business sense.
Okay, and so the way to get involved with it in the business sense is to go there, right, and to sign in and create a page. Is that if we take it right from the beginning, what is the wisest way to go about it before you even start to go on it? Do you want to think about why you're going there, or what do you do?
Well, you want to think about your end result is, like everything else we do in life. Who's my audience? How can I affect them? Not how can I get business from it? Of course, that's always our inclination, but how can I help others so I look really expert and I look like the person that people want to come and gather around? The pay it forward thing. Because the more you help people on LinkedIn, the more it comes back to you in spades. And I have an example from today, which is just hilarious to me, and that is I'm doing some work with a adult education group in Westchester County. And the woman I'm working with, who's the executive director, lovely woman, did not have a good session, the first session, because there were some technical problems in the room. She saw my frustration. She really felt badly for me. I'm trying to help people who are trying to find new jobs and new, maybe they're underemployed or they're completely unemployed or they just seek something better. And she just really wanted to help. And it turns out that she is the wife of one of my first bosses when I was in graduate school back in the late 70s. And how funny is this? So what LinkedIn does is it allows us all to connect to each other in very strong ways and to build on connections you might not even know existed. And once you have those connections, you reinforce those connections. It's networking to help others before they help you. And it's really amazing. So just today's story about how I didn't know that she was married to one of my first bosses, that makes our connection level much better. So the audience you're trying to approach, the people you're trying to help, the ways you're trying to communicate the brand of you, this is what you have to have in mind. And you write your profile. Before you commit it to LinkedIn, you write it in Word or whatever word processing software you want to use, and you make sure it really speaks volumes. It's not your resume. It's not, this is what I used to do and this is what I do now. It's, this is where it came from that makes me why I do what I do. And this is demonstration of how I do what I do. And that's so much stronger than an old-fashioned or a weak LinkedIn profile.
Wow.
Got to have that in mind.
That's
you can tell I feel a little strongly about this.
Yeah, I can hear that, and knowledgeably you speak from. I can tell.
Well, I've coached people in all walks of life. It's just fascinating. I worked with a Broadway actress who couldn't talk about herself. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
You would think that she would be all about herself, but she could only emote or only act with a script in her hand, and I had to basically really push her to write her LinkedIn profile. It's a great profile now. I'm working with a guy who used to be a CIA agent in the Bay of Pigs invasion right now. I'm working with a real estate agent in Los Angeles who sees the opportunity to outshine all the other real estate agents in Los Angeles to really tell why people should hire her. And I run into these amazingly smart and engaging people who just need a little push. We're all taught not to talk about ourselves from the way we were raised, and everybody needs to get out of their own way and talk about themselves. So
now, when you train somebody, one way is you go physically to a location. The other way is, can this be done like we're doing right now, on the phone?
On the phone, on Skype, on Google Hangout, you name it. If there's communication and I can draw it out of people and they're willing to work with me in a way that works best for them, that's the way I do it. And I've done webinars and I've done simulcast broadcasts all over the world for a corporation, and I just really, I imagine the audience needs the help and wants the help. They slurp it down. They all get it in a different way, at a different pace. It resonates with them in a different scenario, a different part of their brain, but everybody walks away with lots of great stuff to really get them to talk and brand themselves.
So, Mark, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Why do you think? I mean, I can hear it in you. I can see it from the toe, and then we are both involved with the Gotham networking, and we're on the social committee. You're the chairperson of the social committee.
Social media
committee. I'm sorry. Yes.
That sounds like we're having parties.
And so I know this is what I want to ask. How and why do you feel that this is you? What do you think now? So if I was speaking to you and I was trying to get out of you what have made you to where you are today, Lincoln evangelist, what do you think? What would you share? What do you share on yours?
Oh, well, take a look at my LinkedIn page. You were kind enough to give my LinkedIn profile page, linkedin.com/in/Mark with a C, Halpert, HALPERT.com. And I use my headline to be like a newspaper headline. I pass by the newsstand. Do I want to pick up that newspaper because that headline grabs me? And my LinkedIn headline capsulizes my 30-something years experience all at once. And you get a really good sense of who I am.
And that headline is?
That headline is Multipreneur, LinkedIn Group Trainer, One-to-One Coach, Speaker, e-payment pro to nonprofits and business. I exceed expectations. So I have another business outside of my LinkedIn business. It's the electronic payments business for nonprofits and other businesses. I have collapsed my experience into 120 characters in my headline. That's a really hard place to write your entire experience level. But you get from me, I am a multipreneur, I do this and I do that, and my tagline, I exceed expectations. Now, if that makes you want to know more, hopefully it does, people tell me it does, I want you to read my summary. My summary is like my elevator pitch, and it tells why I do what I do. Not what I used to do, it's not my resume, it's why I do what I do. And under that summary, you can see my experience. And there I explain what makes me tick, what I love to do in my current businesses, and what I used to do that I used to love in my other previous experience. And I go on and on and on. And as a teacher, my LinkedIn profile is probably longer than most people, but it allows other people to see my personality, my brand. If the brand is boring, it dies. If the brand is interesting, people want more, and that's the goal.
You, in essence, have a real page here. I'm looking at. You have a good-looking picture of yourself. You have some, well, because you're a published gentleman, and so you include some of those kinds of things on here as well, right? I mean, you're sort of like really marketing yourself here.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm not embarrassed to market myself, but I've made LinkedIn my micro website. This is the place where I talk about all the facets of what makes me tick. Business, and even if you go down to the very end, you'll see my interests, all the crazy interests that I have, the things that make me, I think, a little bit better than, and more interesting than a regular business person. But everything I tell you that I do or that I excel in, I've asked other people to reinforce by recommending me or by endorsing my skills. And I
there you
take
go.
that.
Paul, would you recommend me? Look at this right here. Paul, would you like to recommend Mark?
There you go. So all of this is designed to give you a 360 on me. I can only tell you from my perspective where I came from that makes me who I am today. All those wonderful skills that I pull out of my back pocket as I need them based upon being in the trenches, from being a banker, being in a corporate treasury department, becoming an on-ground professor, then all the other businesses that I currently have right now. It's all me and what I bring to the table for my clients, because I am client-centric. And I tell my clients.
You have a website also?
I have a website.
As well?
Yeah, Connect to Collaborate.
Right, okay, yes.
.com.
Okay.
My company is called Connect, 2, Collaborate, and you just pop on .com and you get a little bit more of me, in which I blog every single day, a LinkedIn nugget and tip.
Yeah, wow, man. You're doing great work. Congratulations. You know, we were going to talk, and what we're going to do is we're just going to include this interview as part of the top 15 New Year's resolutions to make LinkedIn work even better for you in 2015, of which Mark authored. And I will share that with the audience. I'm going to ask you two last questions at this point.
Okay.
And it's very exciting always to hang out with you. The first one is, what's good news for you, Mark?
What's good news for me?
Mm-hmm.
Good news for me is when I get an email or a phone call when somebody tells me, we'll use the LinkedIn context, I just won a piece of business that I never would have won if I hadn't made a connection or hadn't put the pieces together on LinkedIn. Really good news to me is something that happened to a friend of mine, a colleague. She was a LinkedIn client of mine a couple of years ago. She won the national award in her company for finding the Rainmaker piece of business for the company that year. That's a wonderful piece of business for me. That's a wonderful way to hear that people are using what I teach them in a beneficial way that helps them. That's good.
Okay, last question, and that's great. Last question, what's peace for you? You know we're very involved with achieving world peace, but what's peace for you, Mark?
Oh, boy. Peace for me is if we could leave our prejudices at the door and walk in and sit around a table, and this goes for small and large audiences or one-on-one, and just try to understand where the other person's coming from. And if we both walk out, friends, colleagues, clients, whatever it takes to make it click, that's achieving something. It's so easy to get waylaid. Let's focus on what we're here to do. Let's focus on the ways we're here to reinforce and assist each other, whether it's business, whether it's consulting, whether it's political, whatever it is. But let's leave the epithets and the ugliness behind, and no more. I don't know. I can go on that one.
There you go. No, that's good stuff. That's no judgment. Just keep it moving forwards.
Yep, I agree.
There you go. Beautiful. Mark, thanks so much for sharing good news with us, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks so much, Paul. Take care.
Okay, take care too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.